In 2000, Mr. David Kinzurashvili founded the Union of Youth Defense of Rights and Development, the goal of which was to educate socially disadvantaged young people, free education, protecting their rights. From 2000 to 2006, the union gave education and employed hundreds of young people. This working period showed clearly to Mr. David, as well as to young people and their parents, grandparents and mothers of large families, that young children needed help and support from society. This made Mr. David to make a decision of founding charity organization and to make regulations, program with a friend, Marina Izoria, and these two young people went to door to make a base of socially unprotected families in order to help them in future. After this, the Fund for Overcoming the Poverty and Emergency Care, Charity House, The Way of the Future, was founded, and the founders were Archpriest Guram Guramishvili and several other well-known public workers. The Charity House, The Way of the Future, from the day of the foundation, started charity activity and care of families which were registered in fund base, and in the same time the fund started looking for financing companies. The first financing company was Bellux, which actively supports The Way of the Future until today. The company Bellux was joined by the company Nicora and other numerous known and less known companies, students and school children. The Charity House, The Way of the Future, fulfilled its aims, united hundreds of people and became one huge charity family. Since 2006 August till December, the fund managed to benefit 150 families. In subsequent year, the fund was joined systematically by new financing companies, which allowed the fund to increase the number of beneficiary families. In 2007, the fund could benefit 250 families monthly. The Union of Blind People was registered and benefited systematically. Socially unprotected families were benefited actively. Unfortunately, among them there were many public workers. Annually, the fund enlarged its activity. Financing of people with health problems became possible. It helped with expensive medicaments. Since 2008, the fund started supporting 350 families monthly. As it is known, 2008 was very painful for Georgia. Russian-Georgian War started, in the result of which hundreds of refugee families appeared. The fund, The Way of the Future, worked in special mode. Hundreds of refugee families were registered, provided with clothes, medicaments. Through 3 months, they were systematically supported. Unfortunately, in this period, there was economical crisis in Georgia, due to which the number of financiers decreased. Financing companies could not support us systematically. Some of them were closed and the others could not manage to provide the charity activities. In 2008, numerous pharmaceutical companies supported us, such as Versia, New Farm, Medinverse, still supporting us until today. 200 families were appointed monthly aid, as the income of the fund could not do more. We transferred our attention to socially unprotected large families and lonely old people. 2010 started much better. We managed to help 250 families monthly. Actively started visiting children with malignant tumors in Vamichava Oncologic Center. We went to them, collected their wishes, tried to make days, minutes nice. Time spent with them was a pleasure for us. It continues until today and became a tradition to visit them at New Year and Easter Day and make their wishes too. And these wishes are fulfilled by the companies which are among our friends. Unfortunately, even in charity exists envy and evil. It was tried to break our spirit, to break the fund down, and even internal conflicts appeared. There were opposition between the opinions of founders, but fortunately all obstacles were overcome, and until today it does its work. 2011 was the most important year. That year, the fund got great responsibility. According to the request of parents, Children's Day Center was opened. In 3-room office, 20 children were inhabited in the daytime. That was period when winter was coming. It was cold. Parents could not take children home, and 17 children were added to three-room office of unprotected children's house. The office of director, administration rooms were transferred to bedrooms. The fund worked through 24 hours in order to find the food for children. Mr. David had to live in children's house. His subject of care was the future of the children, but Mr. David was not scared of this fact. He became stronger to fight for children, and in three-room flat he could make normal conditions for children. Several arrangements were conducted. Guests were invited to amuse and make children to forget about their problems. Without this house, the winter could become fatal for those children. Since then, new level for the way of the future started, a new, long and endless way. In the end of 2011, the fund was joined by the medical clinic Hippocrate, and one more new project was started: medical examination of families and their service. The clinic Hippocrate does medical examination of fund beneficiary families and provide them with medicaments monthly. 2012 brought numerous successful news to the fund. The president of the fund, David Kinturashvili, became a finalist of Imedi Heroes. This was a stepping stone of new victory. Imedi Heroes was followed with numerous news and success. The way of the future started rising again. Looking for support from the government for joining state program was started. In 2013, Unprotected Children's House of the Way of the Future was financed by the state program with small budget, but it made possible to transfer children to big and comfortable house. The new house made new friends and new ideas were born. The house was visited by well-known and less-known people. The fund is involved in different activities, and lifestyle of the children of the way of the future is being done more beautiful every day. Even 2013 did not pass without surprises. The government granted Mr. David for civil activity. President Award was followed by the award from the Minister of Finances. Since 2014, first-month successes have started. We started checking beneficiary families, learning them in details. We have learned 250 beneficiary families. 100 of them live in exceptional poverty. They live in garages, open air, basements where there are not electricity, water or floor. Young children live in such conditions. They are cold, hungry, thirsty. Warm dinner is a great fiesta for them. There are hundreds of such children. This condition made us to make a new project. Make stronger 100 families. It means that conditions of 100 families will be changed and improved. This project was joined shopping net Saga, which provided gas warmer for exceptionally poor families. This allowed to install warmers in 100 families. The project was joined by the company Beeline, which supported us financially, as well as the company UI Georgia, and others joined us in the limits of the project. Social research proved that physical and psychical is heavy and needs fast reaction. One more new project of the fund, the Dinner for Children, considers this problem. The targets are the beneficiary children who spend their childhood in hunger. Mentioned project considers feeding these children twice a day. 135 children participate in this project. We considered conditions of companies, their possibilities in mentioned project. We wanted to involve the companies from whole Georgia in order to unite and save hundreds of children from the death of hunger. We appointed symbolic amount for companies, 10 Georgian laris, in order to make possible participation in the project for everyone. However, there were companies not having 1 Georgian laris monthly for charity. Fortunately, most of the companies conclude contracts with pleasure for cooperation and often try to participate in projects with more than 10 Georgian laris. In 2014, the fund started Bella's activity, funded a theater, The Way of the Future, and united talented philanthropist young people, support them to realize their talent. Each of their arrangements are charitable and income is transferred to unprotected families. The fund did not stop on theater and made musical. Instrumental group where young and talented musicians were united. A big bells group was made and charity performances and concerts were given. The fund actively cooperates with International Red Cross organization. The charity house The Way of the Future is currently implementing following projects: The House of Unprotected Children will leave 10 children. Day Center, 15 children. The group, The Way of the Future, and the theater, The Way of the Future. The project, The Diner of Children, free feeding for 150 children. The project, AT Family Support Monthly. The project, Make Stronger 100 Families. The project, Our Doctor, free medical examination and medicaments. The project, We Are Constructing the House of the Future, collect donations in order to buy the house for the children's house. The project, Profession and Education, teaching free computer software, office manager courses, advertisement activity, working at animal, wood, polygraphy, videotape editing and shooting, learning Georgian national musical instruments, and all of this free. We do not stop, we implement news every day in order to make stronger families. We need you, we need each other, and we will save the future together.